first graders. Sure miss you. Today I'm going to read part of the book called Junie B. First Grader, Boss of Lunch. Chapter 1, Not Normal. Thursday. Dear First Grade Journal. Hooray, hooray! It finally came. Yesterday the delivery man brought it right to my house, and today I carried it to school for the very first time. Right now it's sitting under my desk. I keep sneaking down there to see it closer, but my teacher just said to please stop doing that. Only guess what? He's not even watching me right now. So I think I will sneak down there one more time, and that will be it, possibly, maybe. I wish myself good luck. From Junie B., first grader. I put down my pencil and looked all around. Room 1 was still writing in their journals. I smiled very sneaky. Then I bent over in my chair real slow, and I reached way down, and I lifted up the lid of my brand new shiny lunchbox! Hollered out May. Junie Jones just opened her lunchbox again, Mr. Scary, and you told her not to do it that anymore, remember? May is the tattletale girl who sits next to me. I do not actually care for her. My heart pounded very hard. I bent over even more, and I hid my head so the teacher couldn't see me. Only I didn't do a good job of hiding, I guess, because just then I heard Mr. Scary's shoes walking toward me. Junie B., why is your lunchbox open again? Asked Mr. Scary. Didn't I just speak to you about this a few minutes ago? I kept my head down, and I looked at the floor. One of Mr. Scary's shoes started tapping at me. Tapping shoes are not happy shoes, I think. Junie B., said Mr. Scary again. Do you have a good reason for opening your lunchbox again? I quick closed my eyes and tried to think of a really good reason. Mr. Scary's shoe tapped louder. I opened my eyes and peeked at it, and then bingo! All of a sudden, a miracle happened. One of my eyes saw my napkin in the corner of my lunchbox, and a bright idea just popped right into my head. I quick grabbed the napkin, and I started shining Mr. Scary's shoes. Look, Mr. Scary, look. Here is my good reason, I said. See me, huh? I'm shining your shoes with my napkin, see? I shined and shined. This is the smartest reason I ever came up with. I was very proud. I smiled at him. Would you like some more spit on the napkin? I could have asked real nice. A little spit makes shoes extra gleamy. Mr. Scary quickly pulled his shoe away. No, Junie B., don't spit on my shoe, please. Just sit up, he said. I sat up. Mr. Scary stared at me. I wiggled in my seat very uncomfortably, because scaring teachers make me squirmy, of course. Finally, Mr. Scary talked again. I want you to stay out of your lunchbox, Junie B., he said. We have a rule in room 1. Lunchboxes are to be opened only in the cafeteria. I did a sad sigh. Yes, I said. I know that rule, Mr. Scary, but I waited a real long time to get this lunchbox, and yesterday it finally came to my house. And so today is my first day of not carrying a plain brown box to school. And so every time I look at that new lunchbox, I feel so happy inside. I picked it up to show him. See how cute it is? I said. My mother ordered it from the nature store. It has pictures of baby birds on it. See of all of them? I pointed. This one is my favorite, I said. It's called an owlet. An owlet is the name of a baby owl. My grandpa Frank Miller told me that. I pointed at a different bird. That one is an eaglet, I said. An eaglet is a baby eagle. After that, I held my lunchbox way up high in the air so all of room 1 could see it. See all the birdlets, children? There are owlets and eaglets and ducklets and chicklets, I explained. I put my lunchbox on my desk and I looked at the thermos. And see, this thermos, people? This thermos has the picture of the bird's nest on it. Isn't it cute? But May made a face. Ick, she said. Who wants to drink out of a stinky, pooey bird's nest? Ew. I made a face at her. I do, that's who, May. I said, I love drinking of stinky, pooey birds' nests. May reached into her desk and pulled out a lunch ticket. Well, I buy my lunch, Junie Jones, she said. Bought lunches are much better than brought lunches. Bot lunches don't sit around all morning and getting soggy. I crossed my arms at that girl. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of, May, I said right back. Brought lunches are better than bought lunches, 'cause brought lunches are made special by my very own mother. Mr. Scary did a frown. Okay, girls, that's enough, he said, but May kept on arguing with me. For your information, Junie Jones, mothers are not professional lunch makers, she said. Mothers are just plain old normal people. I stamped my foot at her, 'cause that was my final straw. Do not call my mother normal, May, I hollered. No one in the whole entire family is normal, so there. May started to laugh. Then some of the other children laughed too. I do not know why they laughed. Finally, Mr. Scary snapped his fingers at them. I put my lunch back on the floor. It was not my best morning. The next one titled Hoagies. The lunch bell rang at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock was around noonish, I think. I picked my lunchbox and ran to the door. Then I lined up with my friends and I waited to go. It was almost time, I told them very thrilled. It's almost time for it to eat out of my brand new lunchbox. I held it up for them to see again. Which baby bird do you guys like best? I asked. Pick one, okay? My friend, Jose, looked at the birds and shrugged his shoulders. I don't know. I guess maybe I like the duck best, she said. Ducks can be fun sometimes. One time when we were having a picnic at a lake, a duck chased my sister and stole her ho-ho. My friends Lenny and Herb laughed real hard. They looked at my lunchbox too. I think I like the owlet the best, said Herb. Me too, said Lenny. I saw a TV show on owls once, and an owl swallowed a giant rat inside in just one bite. He didn't even chew or anything. After that, I stared at Lenny a real long time, 'cause that was a disgusting story, just rude to my owlet, that's why. Finally, all of room 1 walked to the cafeteria together. The cafeteria is a big room where we eat lunch. It has smells and noise and tables in it. Room 1 sits near the window. I zoomed there speedy quick. Come, Herb, I called. Come, Lenny and Jose, it's time for you to watch me eat out of my new lunchbox. I turned around to wait for them. Only too bad for me, because none of those guys were even coming. Instead, they were lining up in the dumb lunch line. My mouth, though, opened at that sight. Herb, hey Herb, I called out. What do you think you're doing? Why aren't you coming to eat with me? Herb shouted back, I'm buying my lunch today, Junie B. Jose shouted too, me too. Everyone's buying their lunch today, Junie B. Hoagies, we're having hoagies, yum, hollered Lenny. Save us a seat. My shoulders slumped, real disappointed, 'cause I wasn't actually expecting this development. I sat down at my table and looked all around. There was only one other person sitting there, and his name was Sheldon. I do not know him that good. Sheldon waved his fingers at me. We're the only ones here, he said. We're the only ones who didn't buy hoagies today. I did a sigh. Yes, Sheldon, I know that. Sheldon slid across from me. Hoagies are very popular, but I'm not allowed to eat them. He said, I'm allergic to fake meat and cheese. I looked at Sheldon closer. His nose was running very much. Please wipe your nose, I said. Sheldon didn't pay any attention to me. I'm only allowed to eat food that comes from nature, he said. His nose ran even more. Also, I'm allergic to dairy, he told me. I handed him my napkin. Blow, and I mean it, I said. Sheldon did not blow. I slid to the end of the table. Pretty soon my friends started coming out of the kitchen. The other children started coming too. They sat down and took big bites of their hoagies. Mmm, said Herb. This hoagie is delicious. See, said Jose. Muy delicioso. Lenny nodded. Then he opened his hoagie roll and looked inside. I think even you would like this hoagie, Junie B. He said, look, it has ham and salami and cheese and lettuce and tomato. Just then, May butted her big head in. It's good for you too, Junie Jones, she said. All school lunches have to be delicious and nutritious. It's a law. So, I said, so lunches brought from home can be any old thing, she said back. I did a huffy breath at her. Then I turned my back, and I hid my sandwich very secret. I peeked inside the bread. I stared and stared for a real long time, 'cause I didn't actually recognize the meat, that's why. Finally, I ate it. It was tasty, whatever it was. Cookies is the next chapter. I was the first one done with my lunch. That's because eating hoagies takes forever, of course. I put my lunchbox away and looked at Herb's plate. He had three more foods to go. First, he had carrot sticks. Also, he had applesauce and a cookie. I leaned closer. I think that's a sugar cookie, Herbert, I said. Sugar cookies are my favorite. Herb nodded. Me too. He said, I like sugar cookies too. I touched his cookie with my finger. Yes, sirree, Bob. That's a sugar cookie, all right, Herb. I said, I didn't get a cookie at all today. My mother packed me a fruit bar instead. Oh, said Herb. Well, fruit bars are good too. I tapped my fingers on the table because Herb didn't get my hint. Yes, Herbert, I know fruit bars are good, I said, but I really wanted a cookie today, and so I wish that you would just share that thing with me, and that's all. Herb shrugged at me and looked at me. Why didn't you say so, he said. Then he broke his cookie in two, and he had halved it with me. I gushed real happy. Oh, thank you, Herb. Thank you, I said. After that, I stuffed the cookie right into my mouth, and I drank a sip of Herb's milk. Yum! That tasted just like the cookies that Mrs. Gutzman used to bring to afternoon kindergarten, I said. I smiled at the thought of that woman. Gladys Gutzman was our snack lady last year, I explained to Herb. She used to bring us cookies and milk every week. I made my voice very secret. Only guess what, Herbert? Sometimes Mrs. Gutzman gave us 2 cookies instead of 1, I said, because I was her favorite person in room 9, I think. Jose heard what I said. Hey, that must mean that I was her favorite in room 8, he said, because sometimes Mrs. Gutzman gave me an extra cookie too. After that, me and Jose did a high five, because both of us were favorites, apparently. That woman was a gem, I tell you, I said. What do you mean she was a gem, Junie B., said Jose. She still is a gem. Mrs. Gutzman still works here, you know. What? I said, very surprised. Sure she does, said Herb. I met Mrs. Gutzman this year already. She works right there in the kitchen. I couldn't believe my ears. Really? I said, really? Because if Mrs. Gutzman still works at our school, how come she hasn't brought us milk and cookies this year? Herb shrugged. I don't know, he said. But she still works here all right. In fact, we saw her just now when we were getting our hoagies. I put my hand over my mouth because the news was too good to be sure. Jose laughed. If you don't believe us, go see for yourself, he said. I will, Jose. I will see her for myself, I said real joyfully. Then I jumped right out of my seat and I zoomed into the kitchen and I hollered for Mrs. Gutzman. Well, we're going to end right there. I hope you enjoyed it and come back again and we'll continue our book on Junie B. Jones' first grader, Boss of Lunch.